you know the real story of the Black Death? It wasn't like the history books say. It wasn't just rats, not just fleas. Entire societies collapsed in months. And here's the shocking part. People in the 14th century never even called it the Black Death. That haunting name was invented centuries later by historians. They never called it the Black Death. That was our invention. But what really happened? Let's uncover the hidden truth. Let's just take a moment. I want you to try and picture it. Not like something you'd read in a dry history book, but really see it. A world where everything you take for granted, all the bonds of society just completely unravel. A world where death isn't this quiet, private thing anymore. Instead, it's this dark tide that just washes over everything, taking your friends, your family, your neighbors with this unbelievable speed. And all it leaves behind is just silence, and this grief that's too big to even name. Now, this isn't some new horror movie. This was the raw, brutal reality of the 14th century, living under the shadow of the Black Death. And you know, most of us think we know the story, right? It's that simple tale of rats and fleas. But the real story, well, it's so much more complicated and honestly, way more terrifying. To even begin to get our heads around this mystery, we have to start with the human cost. These words, they come from a man in Siena, Italy, a chronicler named Anello di Tura. He watched his entire world just fall apart. And he wrote, "Father abandoned child wife, husband one, brother another for this illness. Time. Fives seemed to strike through the breath and sight. And so they died, and none could be found to bury the dead, for money or friendship, and I, Anello di Tura, buried my 5 children with my own hands." Just think about that, it's so chilling, because it shows something even scarier than the disease itself, the complete collapse of what makes us human. The fear of catching it was stronger than the love between a father and his child. And the numbers behind that personal horror are they're staggering. The Black Death wasn't an epidemic. It was a demographic apocalypse. Between 1346 and 1353, it wiped out somewhere between 30 and 60% of the entire population of Europe. That's maybe 50 million people. To put that in perspective, a major city like Florence was hit so hard, its population didn't recover for 500 years. So in this absolute nightmare, people were desperate for an explanation. And the one they came up with, well, it's the one we all still know today. For that simple story, that's exactly what we're going to investigate. We're going to treat this like a historical cold case, looking at every piece of evidence. First up, we'll lay out the official story that everyone's heard. Then we'll start finding the cracks in that case. We'll identify the killer's true nature by looking at its different methods of attack. We'll uncover the perfect storm that made Europe so incredibly vulnerable. Then we'll look at the modern DNA smoking gun. And finally, we'll deliver a new, more accurate verdict on one of history's greatest killers. Okay, so let's start with the theory. You probably learned in school, if you ask pretty much anyone, how the Black Death started, you're going to get the same answer every time. Rats and fleas, this is the story. It's what's in the textbooks. It's what's in the documentaries. It's the official narrative. And you know, the classic model is so neat and tidy. It starts with a spectrum, Yersinia pestis just minding its own business, in rodent populations out in Central Asia. The vector, the thing that transmits it, is the flea. It bites an infected rodent, and the bacteria multiply like crazy inside the flea's gut, blocking it up and making the flea insanely hungry. Then you have the carrier, the black rat which lives side by side with humans and loved to stow away on merchant ships. So as these rats traveled along trade routes, their starving infected fleas would eventually jump to a new meal ticket, a person, and boom, they transmit the disease. It's a perfect story, right? It's got an origin, a culprit, and a method. Case closed well. Not so fast, because when historians and scientists really dig into it, they find that this neat little story just can't explain some of the most terrifying facts about the pandemic. And this is really the whole point of what we're talking about today. The classic story isn't technically wrong, but it is dangerously incomplete. It leaves out the one key detail that made the Black Death so uniquely catastrophic. So, let's start our investigation. Let's look at the evidence. That just doesn't fit the official story. When you start comparing the rat and flea theory with the actual historical records, in the archaeological data, you start seeing these massive holes. These are the cracks in the case, the clues that tell us something else. Something much scarier was going on. The first, and maybe the biggest, crack in the case is just the sheer speed of it. This has always been one of the biggest mysteries. How on earth did it move so fast? And this is where we see a huge problem with the evidence. Modern studies, looking at all the records of outbreaks, have calculated that the Black Death traveled overland at an average speed of up to 40 kilometers. That's 24 miles a day in the 14th century. That's almost unbelievable. That's faster than an army could march. And here's the problem. Black rats just don't travel like that. They stick to a very small home turf, often less than 100 meters. They're not going on some cross-country road trip. And even if they hitched a ride on a ship, how did the plague just explode in landlocked towns? Miles from any port almost at the same time. That kind of speed, it suggests there was another way. An invisible highway the rat theory just cannot explain. Okay, the next crack in the case is all about geography. I mean, if black rats were the main carriers, then places that didn't have many rats or any at all should have been safe, right? Well, the historical record says the exact opposite. Yeah, the geography is a huge problem for the theory. Let's take Iceland. This is a remote, cold island in the North Atlantic. In the 14th century, there were no native black rats there. And yet the Black Death showed up and caused one of the highest death rates in all of Europe. How? And then you have all these outbreaks. In places like Scandinavia, in the dead of winter at freezing temperatures, the whole life cycle of a rat flea just stops. They can't reproduce. They can barely even move. These facts are in direct contradiction to the idea that rats and their fleas were the only thing driving this. The killer was clearly working overtime in places where its supposed partners in crime were either gone or completely neutralized by the cold. The last, and maybe the most important, piece of evidence against the simple story comes from the victims themselves. The rat and flea model causes a very specific type of illness, but did the symptoms that eyewitnesses wrote down always line up with a flea bite? To answer that, we have to really get to know our killer. The bacterium Yersinia pestis is incredibly versatile. It doesn't just have one way of attacking. It has several, and understanding these different forms is the absolute key to solving this whole case. So here's the crucial part. The famous bubonic plague, the one with those swollen, agonizing lymph nodes called buboes. That's what you get from an infected flea bite. That's our classic rat-to-human model. But so many writers at the time described something totally different. They talked about people getting a high fever, a violent cough, spitting up blood, and then dying within a day or two. That is pneumonic plague in this form. The bacteria are in the lungs. And this is the absolute game changer. It spreads from person to person through the air, through tiny droplets when someone coughs. No rats, no fleas necessary. And then there's the truly horrifying septicemic plague, where the bacteria get right into the bloodstream, causing massive shock, internal bleeding, and a blackening of the skin, which is actually part of where the name Black Death came from, the fact that a highly contagious, airborne human-to-human version of the plague existed. It explains everything. It explains the speed, the winter outbreaks, and the devastation in places like Iceland, where there were no rats, and the people living through it. They saw this happening. Let's go back to our eyewitness in Siena. Agnolo di Tura, remember what he said. He observed that the illness seemed to strike through the breath and sight. He was describing with heart-breaking accuracy exactly what we now call pneumonic transmission. He wasn't describing a disease that needed a rat and a flea to get from one person to the next. He was describing a killer that could literally leap through the air. But here's the thing. Yersinia pestis didn't just attack a strong, healthy continent. It hit a Europe that was already on its knees, completely exhausted and weakened. And this context is so important, but it often gets overlooked. The plague arrived in a moment of absolute, supreme vulnerability. You can see from this timeline that this disaster was actually decades in the making. In the early 1300s, Europe's climate started to change. It got colder. We now call this the Little Ice Age. And those colder, wetter summers meant crop failures year after year. That led directly to the Great Famine of 1315 to 1317, which killed millions and left an entire generation stunted and malnourished. The survivors, their kids had severely compromised immune systems. And at that exact moment in history, global trade routes like the Silk Road were more connected than ever before, linking this weakened Europe to the plague's home territory. In Asia, it was literally a perfect storm. A sick population packed into crowded cities, connected by trade routes that could move a tiny, invisible killer across the world in the blink of an eye for centuries. People argued about this. Some historians even thought maybe it wasn't the plague at all. Maybe it was some other disease. Like an ancient virus, but in the 21st century. A totally new field of science came along and gave us the final definitive piece of the puzzle. Scientists went to the only witnesses they had left, the victims themselves. They went to the 700-year-old crime scenes, the plague pits and mass graves all across Europe. And one of the most important sites was a cemetery in London called East Smithfield, which was specifically set aside to bury plague victims. And here they used these incredible new techniques from a field called archaeogenetics. They carefully drilled into the teeth of the skeletons to get to the dental pulp inside. See, that pulp is full of blood vessels, and it acts like a perfect little time capsule. It's protected by the hard enamel of the tooth. So, the DNA of whatever pathogens were in a person's blood when they died can be preserved for hundreds of years, totally safe from contamination. It's amazing. And then in 2011, in a huge study published in the major scientific journal Nature, a team led by a scientist named Kirsten Boss managed to pull out and sequence the entire genome of the pathogen from those London victims. The result was crystal clear. This was the smoking gun. The killer was 100% Yersinia pestis. But here's the key. Identifying the killer doesn't actually close the case. This scientific proof doesn't contradict the historical evidence of superfast person-to-person spread. In fact, it supports it. It proves that this specific bacterium was fully capable of acting in all the complex ways that those eyewitnesses described. So now that we've looked at the historical records, the scientific evidence, and the environmental context, we can finally bring all the pieces of our investigation together and deliver a final, more complete verdict on the Black Death. So here's the new verdict. The killer was absolutely Yersinia pestis. But its main weapon, the primary way it spread so fast and killed so many, was very likely direct human-to-human pneumonic transmission. That's what explains the speed. The classic rat and flea vector was still a crucial, secondary method. It's how the disease got into human populations in the first place, but the whole catastrophe was only possible because of the underlying cause, a European population that was left starving and defenseless by decades of climate change and famine. So the verdict is clear. The Black Death was a complex disaster. It was a multifaceted killer, and that simple story of just rats and fleas, it's incomplete because it misses the most terrifying part, the efficiency of a killer that could travel on the very air. People breathe so. We have a much clearer picture of what really happened during the deadliest pandemic in human history. The case of what happened is pretty much closed, but solving it opens up an even bigger, more fascinating question. Out of the ashes of all that destruction, how did the survivors of the Black Death accidentally end up building the foundations of the world that we live in today? From our economy to our culture. Now that is a story worth investigating.